Hello my beautiful Libras, welcome to your Mercury Retrograde energy reading. This Mercury Retrograde will be in the sign of Sagittarius, but it will also be in the sign of Scorpio. So with that being said, I want you to please use your discernment during this reading. I want you to only take what resonates and leave the rest out. The purpose of this reading is for you to get into the energy that you need to know that you might not see coming, what could be your potential obstacle throughout this transit, and the advice the Spirit has to you, and also the outcome. So let's go ahead and begin. We have here as what you don't see coming that could potentially be a little bit blinding, the Hanged One, which shows me that you're gonna have to take a pause during this time, and this is all about your emotions. So you're gonna have to take a pause so you can process your emotions. The Moon showing up here, two really beautiful intense cards all about your emotions. Piscean energy with the Hanged One, and then you have Cancer energy with the Moon. With that being said, pay attention to your internal world, pay attention to your shadow, what might be triggering you during this time, what is potentially challenging you emotionally during this time. And it's very much advised by these cards for you to really take a look at the bigger picture before reacting. We have here the Justice, okay, and this is also in what you don't see coming that you need to be aware about. This is all about creating a balance in your life. The Justice is saying that things need your attention, that things need to be balanced out, that you might receive information that is going to help you understand a situation and gain clarity, but it's very much needed for you not to be impulsive during this time. So very interesting energy. Ask what you don't see coming that you need to be aware of. All of your cards are major arcanas. These are big deals, okay? These are things that you really got to take into consideration, because the way that you react to this information that might come for you, it will basically be a determining factor in a situation. So what the blockage is showing me right now is this Five of Wands, which shows conflict. This could be differences of opinions with people. This could mean internal conflict within yourself. This can mean someone blocking your voice, your throat chakra not being activated. So needing to speak out, putting your foot down, not being afraid of a confrontation if you need to speak your mind, and walking away from gossip, from things that are not serving you. This energy can be very problematic. This can be one of the obstacles for you during this time, but you have to practice your discernment. You have to practice your boundaries, because if you feed it, it will turn into something bigger. You have here the Two of Wands too, as to what can be potentially an obstacle for you, and it kind of goes back to the message of what you don't see coming during this Mercury retrograde. This is about you being prepared, okay? So that's why Spirit is saying take a pause and look at things from a bigger picture, because preparation is needed. If you're not prepared with the Two of Wands, right, giving that it is in your blockage, it will hurt the way that you move forward. It will feel like moving forward is a lot harder or more difficult than what it should be. And Spirit is saying get your act together, be very, very what is the word that I'm looking for? Attentive to the details. Don't let people sell you things. See things clearly for what they are. Don't just believe word of mouth. If there's contracts involved, see the contract. Ooh, especially with that Justice card, anything that has to do with contracts, you need to see that contract. You need to read the contract completely. You cannot take someone's voice for it or someone's word for it, even if it's a trusted individual. You have to see it yourself, because it might not be purposeful, but during this time it's very important for you to pay attention to that. A lack of preparation can cause a lot of difficulties in the future. So Spirit is saying take your time, do your due diligence, take the time to prepare, take the time to do the research, right? And that's why if you don't do that, that's one of the energies that could kind of work against you during this time. And then you have here this Tower card, and this is another obstacle that's showing up here for you. And as we know, the Tower symbolizes things that are in a shaky foundation finally crumbling, finally falling apart. That being said, there is a need for you to allow what needs to go, for you to allow what needs to come down to come down. There is this energy that you will receive the divine justice. You will receive a favorable outcome. It shows it there with the Justice card. But if you let your shadow, the moon, tell you how to react and how to feel in a situation, and you don't use your discernment, this will become a problem, because this is when you try to patch up a tower that's not in a solid foundation. So you need to be very careful with this energy, because what needs to go, because you're making room for new things to come into your life. That's the energy of looking at things from a bigger perspective, acknowledging your shadow when the shadow is showing up, and knowing how to identify when that happens. That means doing the proper healing, getting to know yourself, understanding your own energy, right? That means sitting in solitude, you know, not always having entertainment, but knowing how to maneuver within your own energy. Very important for you during this time, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the advice, okay? So for the advice, what do we have for Libras? This is your advice, Nine of Swords, right? This is about getting out of the rock bottom phase, right? Nine of Swords is when everything feels like you can't get out of a situation, right? Spirit is saying sometimes, at times, the situation is a lot more complicated in our mind than what it is in our reality. There's this moment that you need to take a step back and say, let me look at things from a different perspective. Hence why you have the Hanged One there as what you don't see coming. So this is a shift in perspective, treating yourself with kindness, not allowing yourself to indulge in negative talk. Again, this whole energy of the shadow coming through with that Moon card, that shadow is very strong during this time. I need you to understand that our shadow is not our enemy, but we have to identify our shadow so we can learn from what it's trying to tell us, okay? So it's very, very important for you to understand that distinction. And then we have here King of Swords, which shows clarity, making clear, concise, logical decisions when it comes to moving forward. This is the advice. The King of Swords is all about building a strategy. You can't build a strategy without knowing or looking at things from a full picture, from the big picture, not just from your perspective, but from different angles, right? So building a strategy, getting yourself organized, really leaning towards that preparation, okay? And then you have here the Knight of Cups, okay? Knight of Cups is the advice. And what this tells me with the Knight of Cups is that you have to allow yourself to be in the feeling and in the moment of the now, right? Allow yourself to see things from a little bit of a Neptunian perspective, right? Meaning it's okay to dream of a favorable outcome. It's okay to have these positive thoughts about a favorable outcome. It's okay to dream. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? And the Knight of Cups is saying lead with your heart, okay? Don't be afraid to lead with your heart. Don't be afraid to go out there with following your desires, okay? So I really like that for you as well, okay? So let's get into the final message for Libra. Final message. We have here the Eight of Cups. Some of you guys, this is interesting. Eight of Cups is this energy of walking away, right? Of seeing that the pathway is a lot more bigger and brighter than what it needs to be. At times, we need to let go of what emotionally does not fulfill us. We have multiple cards here showing resistance. And Spirit is saying, go with the flow. Trust in divine justice. Trust that the universe will provide. The Spirit will provide. That God will provide for you. Eight of Cups, though, it involves for you to make that decision, for you to make the decision of walking away from this reality that has to limit you, okay? So with that being said, let me know if this reading resonated with you guys. If it did, please drop me a comment down below. Like and subscribe if you do want to support my channel. I would truly appreciate you. And I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Bye.